Hello everyone, this is my session 3 teaching memo. I hope you had a nice long weekend. Today's the day after Columbus Day. I'm posting this on Tuesday rather than on Monday because of the holiday. I took the holiday off. Well, actually I didn't. I did work, but it was 31 degrees in Poughkeepsie this morning. Winter is fast approaching. It's time to break out the long sleeves. Yes. Dr. Tom has his long sleeves on today and yesterday too. Sadly, the reign of Big Papi has ended. Last night, he will not win another World Series for the Red Sox. Boo-hoo. The good news is that Tom Brady has been paroled. Did you know that? And he is back with a vengeance. Okay, let's do some housekeeping. I wanted you all to note that I discovered the academic integrity statement was not in the syllabus start here folder. I think somebody must have emailed me because it rings a bell, but I never did anything about it. I don't know why. I have rectified that, and everyone needs to go in and take that survey. So all you have to do is go into syllabus start here, which is, if you remember, was the first thing we all did. And there it is, the academic integrity statement that you click on and you hit continue and you answer this question, true or false. Now, hopefully you'll answer it true so you can continue in the course, because I think if you answer false, that you won't continue in the course. I believe that is so. But all of you have to do it. And if you don't, I will hound you. So I'm going to close this and go back to my teaching memo. So make sure you do that. Everybody has to do it. There's also a PowerPoint slide there that you can click on in that link, in the syllabus start here link. And the Turo administration highly suggests that you watch that PowerPoint slideshow so you know exactly what plagiarism is. I had a problem opening Kaltura videos, if some of you discovered, which was on my end. I am now using a Firefox browser, and it loads Kaltura nicely. I'm sorry for any stress I might have caused some of you. I know I've got some emails, and people had trouble uploading to YouTube, etc., etc. So it's all resolved. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But when thinking of Kaltura, I think you all should experiment with using it, because when you use many of you used your iPhone, which was fine, but some of you used it sideways, which if you watch the video in the presentation folder, it advised you not to do that because it made a little triangular screen with a lot of black on the side. If you do it sideways or horizontally, then you won't have that big black border in your thing. One of the problems with using a phone to do it is that when you show it on your screen, it creates a glare so we can't really see what's on your screen. And we get an idea, but it really is hard to see it. So I would recommend going in using Kaltura. It's not very hard. You just go in, and if you say you're doing a discussion board post, okay, I'm just going to create a forum here, and you'll see that there's a mashup on the menu. And you go to the very first one is Kaltura Media. So if you click on that, it'll take you to the Kaltura Media part of Blackboard, and you go over here to where it says Add New, and it gives you an option: Media Upload, Webcam Recording, Video Presentation, and Screen Recording. Now, I'm not sure which one of these. I haven't really played with it enough, but you can experiment with it by trying each of these. Just do a little 5-minute video, because I'm sure you're going to need to have some kind of video presentation software to use in your other courses to make presentations. and make them so. I mean, I know that I'm grading mine very loosely, and I know I had one category that said professional video. That was one end. That was the high end of the category. But I was very liberal with it. If I could hear you, if you were clear, then you got full credit for it. One of the things of the rubric was if you talked matter-of-factly, and some of you did. Some of you talked in a voice that didn't sound you were very excited about it at all. And you have to be passionate about it, and that, man, this is great. I use this with my kids, and oh, man, they love it. So you have to learn to convey that passion as you're speaking. All right. I'm going to be grading those. As a matter of fact, I've already used the rubric for all the ones that I've seen. I think there's about 2 or 3 that I haven't seen yet, and they were posted over the weekend, so I will get to them. But I've seen them all, and I've actually graded them all, but I haven't posted the grades yet. So I graded everybody's discussion board, so you need to know and to use that feedback. Many of you made the same issue. There were some common issues. One, you made your initial post late. Some of you were arguing with me about that. I had the rubric posted on the very first discussion board, so it shouldn't have been a surprise that you lost points the later you posted your initial post. With my revised rubric, there's an advanced category. So if you want an A+, you post it within the first 3 days of the session. That's if you want an A+. And I have that because there are some people that want to do more, that want to get that extra A+ grade. And it's not extra credit, it's just you're doing enough to get an A+. If you only want an A, you have the whole week to make your initial post. And I changed that because many people can't get to the Blackboard until the weekend. So even if you have a job that you're working all day, or you have 2 jobs and you have to work at night, you still have the weekend where you can get on to the discussion board and make your initial post. So that's why I extended it to 7 days, so you can get an A for posting your initial post within 7 days. Not citing the text in 4 of your responses. This is not a place where you can just BS. You need to use evidence to support your opinion. The purpose of the discussion board is to enhance, to extend, and to apply what you're learning, apply the content in the readings that I assign in the readings that are in course materials. So you use those, and you just have to use a citation, Popham 2004. You don't need a reference list. The only time you need to do something at the end is if you cite a website that we haven't seen yet. Just put the website and then make it clickable at the bottom of your response post. You don't have to do a reference list, but you do have to cite it so that I can pick it out. When I grade you, I want to see a citation so I can say, okay, then I can find the citation and say, yes, that's part of what Popham said, or part of what Eddie White said. So make sure you do that in 4 of your posts. So the big idea is to make a connection, because most of you are making connections to yourself as learners or as teachers in your classroom, and that's good. That's part of the rubric as well. So combine the two, make a connection, and then use the text to support your comments. Boom, easy. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. 2 parts of the rubric with 1 stone, with 1 comment. And posting less than 6 times in fewer than 3 days. That's, again, there are 14 days in each session, and you only have to post on 3 different days. Some people complain about that. You're falling on deaf ears here because you have 14 days. If you can't post on 3 days, you need to get out of the graduate program. I mean, even if you're working, you should be able to get on for a 15-minute post 3 times in 14 days. So I have no empathy, no sympathy for anyone who says that's too much. So in 14 days, you have to make 1 initial post and 5 response posts if you want an A. If you want a B, you don't have to do that much. It's up to you. My goal is that everyone gets an A. My goal is that everyone gets an A+. But many people either can't because they're taking 2 or 3 courses or 4 courses, which I think is absurd, but that's okay. Who am I to judge? And are working 1 or 2 jobs. So I understand that. But you're in a graduate program, and each graduate course you're supposed to dedicate 9 hours a week to it. So multiply that times 4 courses. That's 36 hours a week. It ain't happening. That's a full-time job. And so that's it. Those are the main reasons people got point deductions on the discussion board. But remember, use those, use that feedback to make your discussion boards better. That's why I weighted the first one a very small amount. The weighting increases as we move through the course. So this session's discussion board, which lasts for 4 weeks, you still only have to make 3 posts. You still only have to post on 3 different days and make 6 posts. So there should be no complaints this week, this session. Session 3, this was the technology portion of the course, and I was very happy and excited by what I saw. I watched many excellent videos and learned a good deal about apps and websites with which I was not familiar. So this is why I love teaching. This is why I create assignments like this, because not only do you learn and feed off each other, is that I'm learning as well, because I am not in the classroom like you folks are. So I'm not seeing the things that you guys are using in your classroom, and some of you are seeing what other people are using in their classroom. So everybody wins. This is a win-win discussion board. So I'm very happy about it. I want to give a shout out to Melanie, who I call my assistant teacher, who not only responded to almost everyone, but shared many great websites. So that's great, Melanie, and thank you for doing that. And I know there's others that don't, but I know Melanie just stuck out as being someone who did that almost all the time. I also wanted to mention Rebecca, who shared a reading website called Epic. I believe I have it open here. I signed up. I got my free account. And there I am, Dr. Mooney. Thanks to Rebecca, I am now a member. If you're an educator, you just have to give them your email. And there's all kinds of good stuff here. Select a profile, Dr. Mooney. Okay. Password. Okay. Why are they making me do this? So there's a lot of good stuff in here. A lot of high-end literature. So I would recommend it. You can see that I'm not a real big. I have a lot of knowledge about juvenile literature, but it looks like there's some good stuff here, and I'm going to be using it with my granddaughter. So I've shared it here for all of you to also check out, and it's free. I like free. I also want to give a shout out to Michael, whose video on Plickers was very professionally done. I've got a link here to Plickers. For those of you who did not see it, I have added the link here to. Michael has allowed me to use it as an exemplar, so I will be. And there are others I know. I'm thinking that Jillian also had a very good presentation. Off the top of my head, one that used Kaltura, so you could see her face and you could see her screen as well. So those are the ones I'm going to be using as my exemplars. So check it out. If you haven't seen Michael's video, I have a link here in the teaching memo. I also shared a site in response to Amy's video on thinkcentral.com. Thinkcentral.com, I think, is a paid site. I believe that her school district has it. You can click on the link, and you can see that this virtual manipulative site, it's a National Library of Virtual Manipulatives. You can see it's K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, 9 through 12. So I know that we have high school people in this class. Check this out. There are numbers and operations, algebra, geometry, measurement, and data analysis and probability. So there's something for everyone. And using manipulatives is the way we get from the conceptual to the symbolic. Manipulatives, whether they're actual manipulatives that you use in the class or they're virtual manipulatives, they help bridge that gap. That get, okay, how do you, adding two things, what does that mean? Regrouping, I don't get that. So all that can be done with virtual manipulatives. So check it out. It's free. You have to have Java. I think you can download the app, so you don't have to use Java to get into it. So I know a lot of browsers don't support Java. Check that out. Dr. Tom's contribution to the video app, my favorite app. Okay, session 4. This session will be moving into the mathematics portion of the course. We're going to do math first. Actually, we did technology first. We're going to do math, and then we're going to do 2 or 3 sessions on science. So I'm going to start with some general topics. Culturally relevant math is the first. I'm going to be doing problem solving and writing in math next, and then we'll be moving into some actual content of teaching number and things like that. So I'm starting with this culturally relevant math because it's a topic I feel is very important. It's not available in our text. The authors determined that this wasn't something they wanted to talk about, and that's fine. I'm going to talk about it because I think it's important. And why is it important? Because many of us will be teaching students from a plethora of different cultures, being redundant. I've shared several sources in course materials to which you should connect and respond in this week's discussion board. So the major assignment for this week, or for this session, is the discussion board. You can see in this forum we will talk about the topic of culturally relevant math. I've got links here to Chapter 2 in Hatfield et al., Chapter 5 in Rubel, 2012, and the introduction to math as a verb. I had the links wrong. If you click on this, you can click on the links right in the discussion board assignment, and there it is. There's some different categories in here that I was not familiar with. Intentional intelligence and use. I wasn't familiar with that. The concept of life and numbers, I wasn't familiar with that. And authentic application. This is the first I encountered it when I read this introduction here. So I am going to get this book so I can go further in depth into the crossroads of mathematics and culture. So that is the discussion board for this week. There are also a lot of materials in course materials. If you go into coursework by week and you go into course materials, you'll see that there's the culturally relevant math chapter. This is the Rubel, the chapter on teaching mathematics on urban youth, crossroads of mathematics, and a bunch of other articles here. So you should all connect to those in your discussion board post. You don't have to connect to all of them. So don't make your initial post where you connect to all of those things. Just answer the question and use 2 or 3 of those sources to support your comments. All right. I also have created my first of several quizzes. You will see my advice, and based on past experience, many of you will not take it, is to download the hard copy in course materials. If you go in course materials, there it is. Download it. If you click on it, you'll see that there's a download over here on the right. You can see that I have at least, I think, 5 or 6 fill in the blanks. And the thing about fill in the blanks is you have to spell the answers correctly in order to get it correct. So take the hard copy first, go into the quiz discussion board. Where is the quiz discussion board? Well, click on all discussions, and there it is, quiz. And you'll see that if you click on quiz discussion board, there's culturally relevant math. So you can hit reply, talk about the ones you confused about, don't give answers, direct people to the place where they can find it, give hints, but don't give answers. If you do, I'll be checking on it, I'll be deleting it, right? This is a way to use summative assessment formatively. But what most of you will do, regardless of what I'm saying here, my goal is that you all get 100 on these quizzes, but most of you, majority of you, will take it immediately after you take it the first time. You'll go right into course materials, go right into assignments, and you'll take the quiz and you'll say, okay, I got this one wrong, and then go back and take it again. I'm sorry that you do that, but that's the way it works. Okay, so don't miss that opportunity to get an A+. I'm leaving the favorite app DB open for another week, even though I said I would close it. Several of you did not post an app, and many did not respond at least 5 times in a way that showed me you watched the video. Go back and check your responses. If they just say, oh, that was nice, oh, I like that, oh, wonderful, and you didn't talk about what actually was in that video, you're not getting credit. All right. This session, you're going to also begin planning your math lesson plan this week. This is your major project-based assignment. You will begin by selecting a grade level and subject area. Click on the Engage New York link in additional resources, and I will show you where that is. If you go down here again to additional resources, I'm starting to build a resource for your lesson, for you to create lesson plans. If you go into lesson plan resources, you'll see it. You'll see a link to Engage New York lesson plans. Click on that link, and it'll bring you to Engage New York. You can see over here the subject of math. Click on math. There are 1,800 lesson plans there. Now you can either go here for topics, counting and cardinality. Those of you that teach, you will recognize these topics, or you can go to grade level topics down here. So that's where you get an idea. You can see if I go to grade 1, I click on grade 1 mathematics, module 6. You can actually download the lesson plan and get an idea. So you can take that lesson plan and modify it to fit our lesson plan template. There's a lesson plan template. I'm going to grade it based on the EdTPA rubric. You'll see that here. I'm going to be giving point total. I'll be putting point totals in this rubric. But you're going to be able to do a first draft. You're going to upload that first draft in a discussion board and get feedback from me, and you're going to get feedback from your group mates. You're going to revise your lesson plan. You're going to upload it again in another discussion board with a different group and get feedback again before you upload it and I grade it. So that's the purpose of assessment for learning. It's to use exemplars, it's to use the rubric, and it's to get feedback supportive feedback on the process. So you're improving your process so your final product is an exceptional one, is one that should get an A+. So that's my goal. Everyone gets an A+ in this course if you use the feedback you're getting. No shortcuts. You'll see that there are other resources in this as well. There's Common Core. This is my friend Heidi, who is a math consultant for Questar BOCES in the Albany area. She used to come and talk to my live classes. This is content emphasis by cluster. That's a PDF file. Grade level standards documents. These are the Common Core standards by grade, elementary grade. You'll also I'll be adding to this as we move through this process. Here's making good choices. The planning portion of that document, EdTPA document. EdTPA Handbook, Elementary Mathematics. So those are the resources that I have so far. As far as the assignments go this week, there's only one item you need to read that has to do with your lesson planning. And it is a, I'm sorry, it's in the assignment folder. Shame on me. It's this learning targets, how to create learning targets. It's a book. The whole book is on learning targets, helping students aim for understanding in today's lesson. So that's will help you create learning targets that are specific and measurable as part of your lesson plan. You also have to upload your initial post as you did before, so it can be checked for safe assign. This isn't graded, but you can't. I will not give you a grade unless you do this, because I need to check it. We're all mandated by our superiors to check everything for plagiarism. So that's it for this week. You have 3 weeks to get all this done. You have 4 weeks to do the discussion board. I will try to touch base in a couple of weeks just to give you a little heads up, and I'll do a little video in 2 weeks. So I will talk to you then, hopefully.